Something.
Yeah, God, to make moves. Doobie don't snooze. It's on your back, cause they hate you. Dog break through, son get through. But don't break.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that, man. We got some technical difficulties, guys. This is Parlay with us, man. You got me, Mr. Beans, Sean Doe, and Hustle Stacks. We don't know where Stoney's at. Stoney is MIA, but we're gonna keep it pushing, guys. Keep it moving. You see the title, man. We had to go out with a new show. Something happened with our live stream about a few minutes ago. But you see the title, man, is men's. Huh? What'd you say?
I love how that say Duke chokes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. So NCAA men's basketball championship is up.
Yeah,
I had Florida versus Houston. I didn't expect that. I don't think nobody did.
Beans, you have Florida versus on your
No. I put that up on the title. The championship game is Florida-Houston.
I asked you to ball cover 100 then. If you
I didn't expect that to Duke. And then Duke last night, man, just to, top off the title, I feel as though for what I fell asleep, Duke was leading up, man. They were up by at least 10 points when I dozed off. You see what I'm saying? And to wake up this morning and see that they choked that game away, I don't know what to say about that, but we're going to have conversations and discussions about that game. Obviously, I know you guys probably want to talk about the first game that was on, what was that, Florida what? Who they played again? Auburn?
Yeah.
Florida Auburn. How was that game, man? Real quick, how was that game?
That shit was a great game.
I know I seen you guys texting back and forth. I was traveling this weekend, but did Auburn give him a run? Auburn gave him a good run? Oh yeah, no thanks, man. No thanks.
We gotta acknowledge that.
Yeah, thanks, man. Shout out to my grandmother.
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
My grams passed over this week here. She was 95 heading into 96. We call her Eleanor Claire Simmons. That was my grandmother. Her nickname is Mum. That's what we call her, M-U-M, Mum. So yeah, man, I'm gonna miss my grandmother. I grew up with her. Spent a lot of time with her. As you guys know, I spent a lot of time in New York, in my early days coming up and stuff. So it's a sad, sad thing. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to see my grandmother suffer anymore at that stage of her age, So with that being said, man, thanks for you guys shouting that out and looking out and stuff like that. It's enough respect.
But man. Go ahead, Stats. You started off because I watched that whole game live, but you started off. Nah, man, that game was good as expected. I knew it would be a good game. It looked like Auburn's gonna pull. It looked like Auburn was in control. It was in control. Then
so what was the scores? Was Auburn there? Like, was they leading at any? I didn't get this. I don't know nothing about that game.
They was winning by like 10. Yeah.
Mm.
And then Coach Golden, the coach from Florida, in the second half, they came out and just took over, man. The second half, that's when Florida he made great coach, by the way, man. I didn't even really know who he was, to be honest.
Me either.
Yeah, he played coach at San Francisco 2 years ago. Great coach, man. I don't know how, he seems to make the right adjustments. The thing I gained from that was the adjustments, and also, man, just this kid continue to make these tough shots, man. Like, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
The kid Clayton, he went off again.
Yeah, he did. He sure did. I text Stacks like, bro, is this even real? Some of this shit, like he's
so Stacks, he's legit NBA talent.
Oh yeah, but you know what's so funny? Sorry, Stacks. They had him in not to get into the NBA draft, but I was listening to a podcast, and a lot of the people had him not even in the first round before the year started for whatever reason. And just by this tournament, like Stacks said, I give Stacks credit to guard play and how you could make a name for yourself. And a lot of guys played themselves into the lottery. Not that he don't have the talent, but a lot of guys in the past, Stats could attest to that. Good tournament, play yourself into the lottery. I could go down the line. I'm not going to do it, but especially a lot of them UConn cats. But the Michigan State cats. But yeah, he's the real deal, man. He definitely, yeah. He. I'm not gonna say he's Steph Curry because ain't no one Steph Curry, but the shots he makes is like damn, like.
So he got good touch then.
Yeah, and it's when he makes them. It's when he makes them, right, Stacks? It's when he makes them. Tiny, clutch.
He's a little bit more bounce than Steph. He's more athletic than Steph.
Yeah.
Got more size than Steph.
He's a good passer too. He's a good passer.
He just more physically structured, bigger than Steph. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Steph coming out of college was a little guy.
He sure enough was.
Yeah. This dude, he got some size. Remember, he was recruited as for a football player. He was recruited highly. He was ranked high as a football player. So
the same kid Clayton.
Yeah, he got some moxie to him.
Okay,
he's tough.
That's good. That's
Auburn,
good,
man. Auburn. You know what's so funny? Like Auburn, and I was even gonna. And before Houston lost, I was gonna say it about them. Like it feels like they need another guy that could score, like just a bucket, get you a bucket more. It felt like it was more Houston and Auburn, even though Houston won. Like when I watched that first half, man, I was like, these dudes are struggling to score. You know. But yeah, I rewatched it. I just looked at, not to jump to the other game, but you just read to that game. But back to Auburn, man, shout out to Pearl. You know, he had him in there, had him playing. Like I said, the adjustments by the coach of Florida. And I just think Florida just has more talent. And one of their good, I forget the kid's name.
The game was pretty close. 79, 73. That was close.
That's another thing. At the end, he was missing free throws. Dude's an 80% free throw shooter. The other dude didn't have a great game. I forget the two white boys. I think they're like the forward and the center stats. That's
they wasn't having a good game because Broom was working their ass out.
Yo, that kid Broom
wasn't the same on Broom. I thought they should have went to more of the Broom on offense. Put it in the post.
Well, they switched it up. They tried to. That African kid, they sent it. The African kid wasn't having it. That was the adjustment by Golden. He put the African kid because when the white kids was on him, he just was. It was lunch. He was just doing what he wanted to do.
He looked like he was not 100% to be fair.
He wasn't, but he's left-handed, so he got
Boom gave them 15 points.
And he got hit on that arm in the first quarter, like right away.
7 rebounds. Yeah, Boom was the Boom. Yeah, that kid.
Boom averaged like what, 20-something in the regular season?
About 23, somewhere in there.
So he was off a little bit, but he played hard though. I'll give it to him, man. He didn't give up. He showed up at that injury. I told Stacks offline, like I thought that dude was gonna end up in the hospital and be out for the way I seen it. But shout out to him.
That's the kid. What's that kid's name? Who like you said, he thought he was gonna end up in the hospital. What's his name again? Broom. Yeah. That's right. That kid. Yo, he went. Shout out to him though. He. I didn't think. Remember, we discussed that. You guys are right. We did discuss that. We didn't think he was going to be able to play.
No. Yeah, I didn't think he was. I thought he'd be out there. I didn't know how much of a factor he would be with that injury because I knew that shit bent back was the wrong way. But out there and gutted it out, man, and put up and gave some great minutes. So I mean, they almost
played 34. He played 34 minutes.
Yeah, he almost pulled that game out. They almost pulled that game out with him being injured. That was yeah.
Is he a senior?
Yeah, he definitely a senior.
So he's out.
He's done.
He's done.
He got a good college career. He got nothing to hang his hat about.
Right.
He had a good.
Right. You think he will? You think he's a draft pick? Not high. I'm just saying. Period. Draft.
Not high. Maybe.
I don't know. He might. He's like a tweener, but I know in the NBA his position is quote unquote. But to me, he's if I'm wrong, I don't see him adjusting to the speed of the NBA. But I could be wrong. You never know, guys. He can't create his own shot on the perimeter. When you what's he 6'9", maybe 6'8"?
Yeah, 6'9".
Yeah, somewhere there.
I don't see him poke. You got guys in the NBA 6'9" breaking people down at the top of the key, man. You know what I'm saying? So.
What up?
Yo, I don't see that in his game.
My bad, fellas, man. My bad.
No problem.
I had to reboot my whole system.
Yo, why do I think we just had an issue. We had to kick off a new show because I hit go when we was on. Next thing you know, the shit was ending the show. It was on some weird shit. I don't know what happened. I hit go live, and then next thing you know, it was like it said outro. It was ending the shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? So I had to create another show real quick. But
yeah, it was Stack's fault, man. Stack's is the reason that happened, man.
My fault, nigga. You should have been watching games in London. That's what you was doing.
Yo,
it was
good
wrong.
looking. Yo, I want to send a shout out to Stacks and Beans for putting me on to a new show, man. I've been hooked. I watched the first episode the other day, man. I haven't stopped, man.
I told you from the first one, the first minute in the show, you're hooked.
My goodness, man. After the show, I'm gonna catch another episode. Yo, it's like crack to me right now. It's just like crack, man. I'm gonna get another hit.
It is. It's a good show. But yeah, we was discussing this Florida Auburn game, you know, as we going through the championship, the Final Four, and you know, obviously what happened last night with the Duke choking situation. But you know, I didn't get to watch the Auburn Florida game, so these guys was giving me a little breakdown on how it looked and I'm looking how it went. And I'm just looking at some of the stats. You know, we're going over the stats, you know, talking about Broom still was able to go out there and play and give him 34 minutes with 15 points, you know. Still a hell of a he tried, you know what I mean? That's a, you know, you could have sat home after what happened to you the other day, right? So, you know, give it shout out to him. Like you said, that's some tough guy shit that he did still coming to play in that game. Yeah. They needed him anyway, but you know
they were playing well. I mean, let me tell you, that second half, they took their foot off the pedal a little bit, and they went away from what they do best, and that's grind it out. When they have like a double-digit lead like that, they have a great way of managing that lead. You know, by passing it down to Broom. I mean, yeah, you could tell he wasn't 100%, but he was still getting it in yesterday, man. When they gave it to him down low,
he was in first half. First half, they couldn't stop him.
They couldn't stop him. So I don't know what happened the second half, man. I watched the whole game, man. And Florida
Bruce Pearl ran some good shit to get him open too. He did.
He ran some great plays to get him open.
He did, man. He sure did, dog. Yeah. Like some of them flare screens and them cross screens, he was popping like, oh, how the fuck he wide open all the time?
You notice they run that clock. They're not one of those like they shoot.
Oh, they run that clock down to the end.
Run the clock down and and to the T. They run that clock down the Broom. They score and they was running it well yesterday, man. I don't know what happened. I mean, I know Florida. They're known for coming back to second half. They're a second half team, and Auburn should have known that. So their game plan should have adjusted to that.
The first 2 minutes they came out and that they did this tied the game. They tied the game up, and then it was a battle the whole way.
It was a battle the whole way.
The whole way,
man.
Auburn was winning by 10, and then next thing you know, they came out, and then they just like, yo, shout out to the kid that that kid, the one that banged on the two kids. That's that kid Stoney from FAU, and FAU made that run. That's one of those guards.
Oh, okay. One of those two guys that was getting busy that year.
Yo, he turned that shit over on the Yo, I was like, yo, dog. Yo, he turned that shit over.
Yo, and what more can we say about Clayton Jr., man? That dude, man, he came through, man. He made some key baskets, man. He made 1 3 that got them within, like, I think 2. He made a key 3 that got them like within a possession, and then they tied it. The following possession, but he's always making those key baskets when Florida's making that run, when they're getting close. And Auburn went away from what they was doing good, man. I think they was trying to run and gun with them, and that was a mistake they made. If they would have kept it the same and not panic, the game would have definitely been a lot closer than it showed in the end. Because in the end, Florida ended up winning by 6. And how did that happen? You know, you're talking about an Auburn team that, man, they was playing well in the game. And for them, I mean, yeah, there was, free throw shooting in the end, but it should have been a lot closer than that, man. Auburn should have won that game yesterday.
But I think the score is indicative of a tight game, though, you know?
Yeah, it was tight, but you would think they would lose on I would have thought they would have lost by 1. Like I would have thought it would have been that tight down the stretch. That's what I'm trying to say. It was that tight down the stretch, like where it's like back and forth, but look like they ran out of gas or something. I don't know, man. But man, Florida, man, they came through, man. They're the only team left on my you know, on my bracket.
Well, nobody fucked up. A lot of people wanted to see that matchup that got fucked up. Everybody like,
but
in Vegas,
in the room, like last night's game against Duke,
out to San Antonio, to
Houston,
Florida. Duke matchup is upset right now. I know they are.
Yeah, they're upset. But Vegas is celebrating right now. Yo, they had a huge liability on Duke. Huge. I mean, Duke would have won. Woo. Yo, Vegas would have been in trouble, man, because everybody had Duke, man. Big bets, man. There was the handle on the Duke bets was astronomical, man. They was talking about it yesterday. Like, yo, Vegas was sweating yesterday, but they were happy to see Duke lose because everybody had Duke. Just winning straight out, winning that game yesterday, and man, that was a huge loss, man.
That shit was
like I said, man.
I'm telling you, dog. I
got home last night. I'm like, yo, let me see what's going on in this game because I was on the freeway. I got home, I saw that score. I said, oh shit, Duke's gonna pull this shit off.
They were leading like the whole game. The whole game.
I think they 12 or 14. The whole game.
They led the whole game. Houston did not take the lead until like a minute left in that game yesterday.
That's crazy.
A minute left, man. That's when they took their first lead.
I woke up this morning and saw that shit. I said, what the hell happened?
I don't know what happened with it. It's if I was a Duke better, man, I definitely would have called out to sick today. I wouldn't have gone to work. No, I'm trying to tell you, man.
Yo, Tony, I'm telling you, man, that
hey, Joe, you know them backs, man. Yo,
Jay Williams' face this morning on SportsCenter, he looked defeated.
Yes, I seen him.
He was that L right there as a coach. You drink the whole bottle of liquor. Not you don't take a shot. The whole bottle's gone.
The whole bottle.
I'm telling you right now.
So that's a like I said, that's a choke and a meltdown.
Because Houston is
a sleepless night loss for a coach.
Houston is not a team that comes back from double-digit leads. The record shows they got a bad record against double-digit deficits. And not only they was down double digits, but it was in the second half. A Duke team that had control of the whole game. The whole game. And Houston couldn't score. They're not that type of team that comes back from double digits. They don't shoot the ball lights out. So that team needs to be close throughout. Like they can't come back from, like the record showed, they can't come back from them leads like that. And for Duke to let that team come back like that, it was a problem. And it says a lot about the play calling down the stretch because you guys were running great plays the first half. What happened, man? Especially down the stretch.
I know what happened. That's called pressure. Pressure got the Shire.
Pressure. That was pressure. Yeah. You're right. Pressure changed the game.
That motherfucker had that Calipari face over there. He looked like Coach Cal over there with that shit. Like Calipari be looking like that, looking lost. shit. I've been in that situation. I'm gonna tell you something, dog. That shit. You just be looking at that clock, dog, like hoping that shit is just going down.
Tick away, right?
But it just don't. It just don't go down, dog. It just don't go down. You just looking.
It don't go down, man. But man, that was a great game. I watched it from tip off to fucking the buzzer, nigga. It's like, I'm like, shit.
So what did my question is? Since you guys watched the game at the end, you watched the whole game. What did Duke do? What did Duke do to lose the game last night, guys? Not what Houston did to win. What did Duke do to lose?
They went away from what they was doing best in the first. They ran away from what they do, man. They set up great plays, man. They got good shooters. They shoot a high percentage. They was forcing shots. They was shooting the ball too early in the possession. It should show you because you got to understand Houston is not that type of team. They don't play from behind like that. And what Duke was doing yesterday was they were getting open shots. They was hitting flag in his comfort zone. He was getting the ball in his spots where he loves to score. So I think they panicked, like Stacks was saying, they panicked down the stretch. And I don't know, the jitters, whatever they got, but they went away from what they was doing best, and they focused too much on how much time was left. I think they was trying to like not lose the game instead of trying to win the game. And they a Houston team, man, they was attacking, they was getting and ones. That's what saved Houston, them and ones, man. Them and ones.
And ones. And they was playing. That's a home game for Houston. That's a home
game for Houston. So they had the crowd with them. So once that crowd got into it and Duke felt the pressure, man, they panicked, man. They was taking bad shots, turning the ball over. They was doing everything that you cannot do, especially in crunch time. And a team that good, they tell you what can stop a great team like that? Themselves.
And that Houston, but you gotta give Houston credit because they established that physicality early. You know, they established that I mean, it's funny because I'm on one of my prop bets, not to show my ass, because I lost the actual prop bet, but I picked Duke to score exactly 67. That's what I had him at. But I didn't have the other props right. I told Stacks this morning. But I didn't have the other props, right? So that's neither here nor there. But I looked at it as being like, took you guys' advice and did my little own study, and as it's going to be a physical game. And it came in physical.
Oh, Houston always going to make it physical.
Yeah, and it's like, I think I told Stacks, like I said, I had to rewatch the game because I fell asleep. I don't know how I did. I just knocked out, whatever. But when I rewatched the game, it's like you ever see it looked like, you know, when you in football and up across sports, when you have a wide receiver going across the middle and he feels like he's going to get hit and he's like, it felt like at the end of the game when they were going to shoot, like, it's even on that last play, like Stacks said, Cooper Flag could have went in another 4 to 2, but it seemed like his periphery, like, is someone going to snatch his ball? Is someone going to comfort his ball? That's what happens when teams are gritty like that and handsy like that, you know? And I think at the end, it just got to him. Like you said, the guy's a great coach. I'm not taking anything away from Shire, but it's like, I watched it like he could have did better than he did.
He could have did better, man.
He could have did a lot better.
And shout out to him. Shout out to him in the press conference. He came out and said it was all his fault. He said it was his fault that game.
Oh, the coach
said it was all his fault, man. He it's only for me and though if you go back in that game, that last 2 minutes, last five, they ran the same exact out of bounds play 4 or 5 times, and I was like, yo, you got to switch that up, Shire. Right. You can't. They on to it now, and you, shout out to Cooper Flag. That kid's 17, 18 years old, and he gave them grown fucking men 27. I mean, them Houston is a team of grown men. Them ain't kids. Them is men. And I thought he should have touched it way more down the stretch.
Flag.
Way more.
Yeah. What I'm looking at the last look. It was 67-67 with 19 seconds. It was 67-67. Cooper Flag. He missed a turnaround jumper, which is not his shot. He doesn't take those type of shots. They said
a turn away, fade away, right?
Yeah, he's more like a face up, do a little move, drive to the basket, get fouled, or make the one of the two. That's more of his game right there. So once they tied the game, Houston got fouled. They made their free throws, went up 2, and then Duke in the foul possession
right now.
Up again.
That is a fucking horrific foul call right there, man.
Yeah.
You cannot make that call as an official.
Yeah, that was that controversial. Yeah, that was it.
Give me a dog shit. You ain't gave me a
dog shit. I'm telling you right now. I'd have got teched, and I have gotten teched for that shit.
Yeah,
you can't make that call with a game that physical. You've been letting them play all day.
And it was on a rebound. It was on a rebound.
Was it an obvious?
It was on a rebound, though.
No call. If you look at it,
it was on.
We now look back at it. It wasn't obvious.
And you ain't even going to call foul on the court outside. That's bad. That's a bad.
But it was on a bad play. It was on a rebound, right? He was going for a rebound.
He called it over the back. And shit, Stoney, if you look, Houston got the fucking ball anyway. It wouldn't have bothered him.
That was a bad foul, man.
That wasn't a foul. It's just a play on. It's a play on. Just let him play.
Just let him play.
And Duke was up 67-61 with 1:14 left.
Damn.
That to me right there, you know what the play should have been, and I keep saying it. They was taking too much jump shots. They had to drive to the basket. That's when you got to lead like that, you have to drive to the basket.
But real quick, with a minute and change up 67-61, wouldn't you walk the ball up a little bit?
Slow. You got to play fast, in my opinion. That's what.
You don't
kill that clock. Go. You don't say kill that clock with that minute and change.
Works. Like Stacks just said it too.
No, but what happened was they was up, but they didn't have the ball though.
It's a 36-second clock, right?
No, they didn't have the ball, Beans. They was up. Houston had the ball. They were down that much. But Houston had the ball, not Duke. Because Duke had the ball.
What Shy got to do right there is call timeout and run something. He let them get away from like Stoney. They got away from what they was doing. Hold on, I'm gonna correct myself. They didn't get away from what they were doing. Houston made them get away from what they was doing.
Yes, exactly.
I'm glad you said that. A lot of people ain't giving them credit either. That's the problem.
Houston made a three. They made a three in opposition.
Shout out to that kid, Emmanuel Sharp, Blake High School, Tampa, Florida. Here's some big threes for Houston. Huge threes.
And then they got an and one. And then they got an and one after that.
The best team deserved to win. They played to, like what Bill used to say, they played to the end of the clock, right?
They did. They went in there.
They sure did.
The game. Now, granted, Duke left the door open, unlocked, so they can go get the game, but they took the fucking game. I mean, you can't be mad at the thief, Nick Beans. If you know
what's so funny, stuff.
The thief gonna do what the thief gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
You leave the door open.
Leave the car door open. You can't be mad.
You can't be mad.
You know what? Real quick, I was gonna say is, when you make a good point. I was thinking this after we spoke earlier. Like, if Houston wasn't the tough, gritty type team that they were, and they were more of a finesse team, then I would say that Duke gave the game away. But when you were a tough team that played to the whistle, you to me, that you could call it a choke job if you want, fine. But when you got a team that played to the whistle, play hard like that, the coach is on the sideline, experienced coach, well coached. Let's say real quick, let's say like Memphis, a team that doesn't play up to their standard. Now, if they went and beat Duke on some stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, Duke gave that away. But in my mind, you got a team like Houston that plays like a dog like that, man. I gotta.
You gotta commend Houston. Then
when I rewatch it, I'm like, Houston took that shit for sure.
Houston's on a mission, man. They
on a mission.
Sneaky. If you would have taken Houston to win it all, man,
it was like
you would have got them in good odds because they was the least number one.
Yeah, they were plus 2,200, I believe, at the beginning.
Yeah, because they out of all four, they were the least number one team.
As a 4 seed, I mean, to win it all, not out of the turn, like
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, they was the fourth best team out of all four number ones. They was the fourth because number one was Florida and Auburn.
My bad, quick. When you have a team so heavily favored like Florida and Duke at the top, even if they're 1 seed, those three, Stoney will tell you, those teams behind them drop significant. Significant. Because you'll be like, damn, why are they a plus 22 when they're a number 1 seed? But it's Duke and them and Florida was so favored to go to that final game.
Yeah,
that the three of like Houston and Auburn and all those other teams were like plus 22. Like Houston was closer to say Memphis and Kentucky to winning it than they were to, Duke and odds-wise, because I looked at it at the beginning of the tournament. I was like, wow. And I ain't going to front. I didn't think they were going to make it to the final. So I can't even be in no hindsight shit. Like, I wouldn't have went to the window on them. I'm keeping it 100. Like, I'm just being
real. Houston was that was what they call a value pick. Value pick.
Yes.
You got a team that got the potential. And they got good odds. So you take that risk. You don't want to take the obvious risk because you're not getting good on your return. You want to take a team like Houston that their odds are low, but you'll get a good return and they got potential. And look where they at. Shit, because I think we'll get to that, but that's Monday night's gonna be ill. Monday night's definitely. I'm betting that the biggest leading is going to be no more than like 6 or 7 points.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be tight all the way.
You giving them? I'll say 4. I'll say 4. By the way, I'm gonna tell you right now. I go to the window. Clayton ain't gonna get them shots against Houston. He's not gonna get them shots against Houston.
So you want to take his under?
Yeah, you want to take? I don't see him scoring. And Stoney, if he scores 31,
we can't bet on playoffs, man.
If he scores 31, that's gonna be the hardest 31 he ever scored in his life. I'm telling you.
Yes, it is.
That 31 is gonna feel like 45. That's for him.
Oh yeah, Sampson, man, he
has he ever won
really well. He got the players to do it.
He's never won a national championship. He's won at every program he's been at, though.
Oklahoma.
Sampson. You know what?
He's been to Final Fours. This is first.
Sampson, he's just a likable guy. Like you don't. That's one coach you just don't hear nothing bad about.
Yeah,
like from his players, from all people that
he even went to the NBA for a minute, didn't he?
Yeah, because they kicked him out. He got kicked him out. The whole Indiana thing, but now it's fucking legal. So everything he got caught up for is legal now. So it don't matter.
Yeah, it's legal now. It's fucking like it's open now. Like I'm
Wild West out there.
How much money you want to play for us? It's just that simple shit. You don't have to give him under this. You don't got to give him a paper bag.
So that's what he got caught up on.
Yeah, he was calling. See, for those who don't know, back in the day, I used to know because I used to coach AAU. You had a certain time period which you could contact the kid. You couldn't contact the kid. You couldn't make no phone calls. You couldn't have nothing. But coaches would ease in there and talk to the kid. Calvin Sampson got caught up. Bruce Pearl got caught up as well. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Pearl got caught up. That's why he got kicked out of Tennessee. That's how he ended up at Auburn. But there was certain guidelines which you had to pay attention to when you could talk to a kid. It's called a live period. And the live period used to be all of July. You could talk to the kid as much as you want. And then last 3 weeks in April, you can talk to the kid as much as you want. After that, it's over with. You weren't supposed to talk to him no more. They continue to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? They continue to talk to him. And that's what happened with Calvin. That's what happened with Calvin at Indiana. Remember, he had Indiana Rod. He was the last coach to win there at Indiana. The last coach to win big at Oklahoma like that. Like Calvin Sampson, like Calvin's won everywhere he's went. I mean, I got Florida winning, but I wouldn't be upset if Calvin got one. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, same here. Though it's 1 point. That's the spread.
Yeah, they said that this morning.
Damn,
I'm touching the total, bro. I'll talk about that later. But I'm gonna play the total in that game. I'm not gonna be
total right now.
I'm not sweating that damn fucking winner out of that shit. I ain't sweating that out. I don't bet like that. Like,
I don't like betting because you might as well just bet the money. Like you might as well just bet someone to win outright. You ain't gonna.
You know what? You can live bet. You can bet while you're watching the game. You can do that. Which is what I did with Florida. When Florida went down, I live betted them. I didn't expect them to win, but I didn't think they was gonna lose by 8. Because that's when they was down 10. They had them losing by like 6. I think it was like my bad, 6 or 7 around there, and I took it.
That shit was
the total's 140.
I'm going under. That shit's by tip off. So that shit might be a pick 'em. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm gonna take the under on that though.
1.5 is basically stacks. 1.5 is basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, they're gonna start looking at because Houston's at the crib. That's the crib. That shit is close for them.
Yeah, that's
San Antonio. It ain't that. Them fans will drive to San Antonio from Houston.
That's about a 4-hour drive, I think, right? 4 or 5 hours.
2. I think it's 2.
2.
I think it's 2. San Antonio.
Wow.
Shit, that's easy, man. That's going to
That's easy. That's easier than them Florida. Them Gators got to drive up there.
Yeah, but they fans travel.
They flying.
They'll be there.
They flying over there.
The Stacks said they fans travel.
Gators fans don't fuck around.
No, Gator fans don't play around, man.
Shout out to Gainesville.
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 That's what I meant to ask. I meant to say that.
What they call it being the swamp. They don't.
Gainesville. Yeah.
You select like athletes over there, celebrities.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Celebrities, man. You get that treatment. You get that A1 treatment everywhere you go. You don't pay for nothing. You skip the line. You don't even get in a line to go nowhere.
Don't start. Don't start.
It's true though. I'm just keeping it real. I ain't trying to hate. God bless you.
Yeah.
You just shoot your man in the face and get away with it.
He did that.
Tim Tebow's Mr. Perfect and all that. He over there paying off the bartender to get. These dudes are crazy.
Nah, Tebow's God over there. So this like even now.
Oh yeah, to this day, I'm sure Tebow's God over there.
They went shit.
Tebow, there's a couple of guys. Tebow, Danny Warfel, all them guys.
Danny Warfel.
They won a couple of national championships, right?
Hell
yeah.
They won back to back. Corey Brewer, Horford.
No, I'm talking about the football too.
Oh yeah. They won. Yeah, wasn't it around the same time, Stacks?
Yep. That was around the same time, a little bit.
They were running ship a little bit. Florida, but the basketball team, they went that with Donovan as a coach. They were nice.
Yeah, he made it to the Hall of Fame because of that. Yes,
they were nice. That back to back in college. That's extremely
hard. Billy Donovan, right?
Yeah, he made it.
Shout out to Billy the Kid, man. Billy the Kid had a good playing career for Providence too, though, as well.
He sure enough did.
Yep.
Sure enough did. You all right?
Over there. Al Horford and them boys. I hate Joakim Noah, man. I hate him. That's why I didn't like the game because of him.
Joakim Noah?
Oh man, I hate that dude, man. It's on, man. If I see him on site, it's on, man.
I seen that dude in person. That's a tall motherfucker. That's a big right there. That bitch is like 8 foot, dog. I see him. Shout out to my man.
Yo, Stacks, I see him too. He's a big dude, yo.
Ponytail.
But he's soft, though.
I got Crook. I'm going to the window for Crook. Crook, jump on the ponytail.
Yo, he's soft, man. He's one of them soft.
That motherfucker, hey, Beans, that motherfucker grew up in Brooklyn fighting, so I know. Like he said, I seen the story. He said people used to pick on him because of his accent. His
father was a famous tennis player.
Yeah,
Brooklyn for.
Yeah,
he grew up in Brooklyn. That's what he went to school.
The good part, because his father had money.
He went to school with some kids. I forget the kid who he went to school with.
Because his father was famous tennis player from France.
That don't mean he fuck with him like that, though. You know how that go.
That's a good point. I forgot. My bad. You right.
Mom's might have had him in some shit. You're like, yo, we going over here.
Right.
That's true.
So sad. That is
true.
Probably
that's
true,
facts, though. But no Gators, man. That's a big that's a we're gonna get off because I really want to chime into a couple more things before we exit.
Shout out to my man Mo Spates too. He was on that Gators team and went back to back. He needs to get on the fucking show. I need to get on his ass now. That's what I need to do now.
Yeah,
man. That Gators team, they deserve like a little like documentary, man, because
they got one.
What they did. Oh, they got one already?
Yeah, they got one.
one. Because what they did, man, it just doesn't happen, man. It's even the best of them couldn't repeat like that. I mean, Connecticut repeated last year. They did a good job. A sneaky repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt like it had going back. I felt like if Duke would have won and they would have did their thing, I would have compared. Duke could have had a run like UConn. I think.
I agree, Stoney, because they got a hell of a class coming in next year.
Yeah, and I felt like it would have been. I would have definitely put a piece on number one.
There's a lot of rumblings about Cooper staying. So there's a lot of rumblings about him staying.
I think he should.
You think he should?
Another year, man.
I think it depends who gets that.
Is it one and done? You think this will be a one and done?
I heard or something.
This is a one and done. If he decides,
I didn't hear that yet, but I feel like he needs to stay another year.
If he stay another year and they got them Boozer twins coming in there next year. Them motherfuckers is the real deal. So
I gotta look into them. I didn't hear about those boys.
Yeah,
I heard about them. I've been watching.
They got him coming in. If they got him back, the Boozer twins, African kid come back, Knipple will be back. They'll be solid, man.
I like that Knipple. He's tough.
Yeah, they'll be solid, but
they're gonna be all right. I mean, they probably learn from what they did this year. And
Coop don't need no fucking money. I mean, I'm quite sure Duke broke him off for a nice bag.
His NIL is sweet.
He's already signed a shoe deal, Beans, with New Balance, so he good.
Oh yeah, so he's good. New Balance love giving people money, boy. I'm telling you, they do.
Them shoe deals. they definitely, you know,
That's what I'm saying. New Balance love giving out money.
They definitely give you a boost in your network.
Headquarters in Mass, and he from Maine, so it just only made sense.
No, it made sense. New Balance is in Brighton, right here in Brighton, Mass, which we call Boston. It's a part of Boston. It's right there in Brighton. And yeah, shout out to New Balance trying to stay relevant within the sneaker apparel game. That's a big sign for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing right now.
They do a lot of stuff for the community too. They came to my job and did a little. It was. They did some stuff. Yeah, they do a lot.
Yo, shout out to New Balance, because if I'm the number one player in college and I'm got the great white hype like Cooper is, I ain't fuck with no New Balance. I'm just telling you, they had to throw him a bag, Stony.
New Balance is a running shoe. New Balance is giving you more money than the shoe company. I'm taking it.
But still,
New Balance, they're
running. Nice when I'm outside. I don't give a fuck. Like
it's hard to turn away from that swish. I don't care what you say.
Look at Jalen Brown. He wears some shit that look like some fucking Michael J. Fox shoes.
But Jalen Brown's trying to prove a point. Jalen Brown knows
why his knees are all fucked up. He need to stop proving that point.
I'm telling you,
it's hard. I respect JB, but his knees all broke up. Where
it's hard. I respect JB in a way for going against the grain, against the swoosh.
Nah, I respect that.
You know, he's going against the swoosh, and he got a personal against the swoosh.
Orthopedic Terminator X shoes, man.
That swoosh is hard to go against.
That swoosh is hard to go against, but you know he's fighting the swoosh, and you're right though, Stacks. MB, New Balance had to give him a serious.
They had to, dog. I'm telling you, they had
serious package.
They got a little.
And the leaf. Think about it. To avoid the swoosh and the leaf. You know what I mean? To avoid Adidas and Nike.
Yeah.
They gave him some money.
They had an event they had a private event I was working in, and they had the New Balance people were there. And I looked up, I walked in the room, it was Jack Harlow, the rapper. It was the girl, not the girl from
the tennis player.
Not the girl from Spider-Man, but the girl from in that show. It was a famous show on HBO about drugs, the kids put drugs and all that.
How about your girl from Spider-Man? I know what you're talking about.
They were all in there, bro. I was like, damn, New Balance got this and that.
They got a nice little.
They got soccer from Arsenal. They got the girl Cameron Brink. They got Max.
They got the tennis chick. They got the tennis shorty.
You know what's so funny? They have a lineup. Stacks with knowing Crook and Beans. You might know they have this ill ass lineup, right? But then they got the dude Baisley that ain't in the NBA no more because he was like their first phenom signing when they switched up their brand. He was like a big time high school player.
They got Kawhi.
He interned for a year. He interned here for a year. He must have a lifetime contract with them because he's an NBA. You know, he played in the NBA. I'm not saying he's not good, but you got like Maxey, Jamal Murray, Cameron Brink. You got Baisley in there, and Kawhi Leonard's there. Don't forget, he's always up here too because he got a contract with them. And then you got Baisley in there. He ain't played the NBA in like 2 years, but still a millionaire because he was like the first big. They actually built their brand up. Shout out to New Balance.
That's what I'm saying.
But they're running shoe. They're gonna always be.
And the kids love wearing New Balance. My little cousins now, you know how you know.
Yeah, New Balance is
New Balance in the hoods. That's what they wearing.
The youngins is wearing
right now. They ain't wearing that shit down. They ain't wearing that shit down here.
They wearing Asics, New Balance.
You ain't had no motherfucking. I remember I had some.
The Asics are expensive, man. Don't sleep.
Don't
sleep on them. Asics are expensive. You spending like about $200 or $300 on them shit.
Yeah, I'm pointing emphasis. Every shoe deal has a circuit. New Balance has one, Puma has one,
right,
and Adidas has one. Ain't nobody fucking with that swoosh, that EYBL.
Well, hell, of course, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
No one's arguing that, but you got to remember, we're not 19, 20 years old. We don't know what they offered him. You think about it.
They offered him. That nigga might have gotten stock. I guarantee.
Yeah, he must have, of course.
He
didn't turn down the swoosh because they didn't give him the most money. That's a fact. We got
that's the new shit with these athletes, but they don't talk about that.
They won't wear your
give me a piece of this team. You know who started that on the low? Kawhi Leonard.
No, that was Jordan. Jordan was the first one to do that with Nike. If you see that
Yeah,
short,
no, I'm talking about a team stock, the team that you signed to type. It's like when you signed a deal with the Clippers, he was asking for a percentage.
Oh yeah, he means the team. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he wanted a percentage.
No, but sneakers too though. Sneakers too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just the fact that the athletes know about that, because they were offering those type of deals to athletes then, but they didn't know what that meant. Like what stock? What? Nah, man, I just want cash. I want my cash. But now they don't. You know, they know about that now.
They're getting more big. They ask for it. They're getting what you call it. They're getting
equity,
business advice.
Yeah,
they taking real good advice now. Yeah. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
A lot of them you got Magic. Don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
In the documentary, Magic talked about that was one of the worst decisions he made in his life. When I don't know who was it Converse? One of those companies offered Magic a percentage of their company, and Magic said he didn't understand what that meant, and he just wanted the money.
Converse.
And he said,
Converse got a nice little lineup too, but they owned by Nike.
They owned by Nike. Yo, he said that. Yo, he said that would have been. He would have had about $400 or $500 million had he.
Nike's so smooth. They bought Converse just so they could have that King James brand for LeBron. That's the only reason why they bought that shit. Because Converse owned the rights to that King James brand. So
serious?
Wow.
Yeah, that's why they bought that shit. Yeah, that's why they.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they owned the right to King James. That name King James. There's some shoe they had.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Nike. Why you think? You remember Dwayne Wade was Nike? Then he went. Nike was like, "Yo, D Wade, go over there and help them out and put some shoes on Converse." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dog. That's exactly what they did.
He said, "Help them out."
Go over there and help them out. Put some shoes on.
Yeah, put some shoes on, dog.
He did go over there. He showed up. Did go over there for a minute though.
You got to think of the roster. Like,
you're right.
That motherfucker.
They go to Converse for a second. I forgot about that shit. That nigga showed up. They go to Converse.
Shout out to Phil Knight. Don't be fucking around, right?
Phil Knight don't be fucking around, man.
Like no more, right? He don't want to do.
Yeah, he still do because he still be giving Oregon all that shit over there. Yeah, he still be giving Oregon.
Yeah, man. The boys told me when they went there for a meet, man. They told me that place is that they were like, man, they was in that gym in there that they would track meet. They track. Yeah, and they would, the best kids in the world go to Oregon for the meets, and they went in there like, damn, like
that's why Oregon's always prevalent in every sport because of Nike. That's their shit. That's
right. That's their shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they said like 80% of schools is funded by Nike. They sports teams. 80%.
Nike's number one, man. And Jordan, I think
Jordan's
the reason. Jordan's the reason, man. Everybody wanted to be like Mike.
Yep.
Early.
Yeah. That brand just
some of them shoes, like KD's shoes, is awful. I'm like, bro, like you. Some of these
now they're awful, but his first four.
Yeah, the first couple I had.
Yeah, he needs. But look at him though. I mean, I'm not shocked. He doesn't look like the type that really.
Who got some nice book?
Yeah, KD probably don't even get involved. You're right,
man. He don't have flavor, man. He's just, he's not like that guy. I'm surprised he even got it.
I'm disappointed in the Tatum shoe too. Them shit's ugly. I'm sorry. I was in New York with Shannon. I was like, I'm not buying.
I like that.
But yo, I'll buy him though. I'll support, man. I'll support. I'll rock them shits, man. Different colorway though.
Yeah, you gotta find the right. I've been trying to look. I couldn't. I love Tatum. That's my guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, damn. You came up with something. No, who got some nice one? Booker. Devin Booker got some decent.
Man, you like it.
Booker got some nice.
They're decent. They're decent. They're better than Tatum's joints.
Like Air Force Ones with a thin sole.
Yeah, but they're better than Tatum's. Tatum's joints look like some fucking. Know what Tatum's look like? They look like
Tatum's brand, Jordan brand.
Who those shoes those white people
get that correct. Jordan brand and Nike are two different things.
Two different things. Yeah, it is.
They look like sketches. Tatum's shits look like sketches with a Nike sign on it. Fuck out of here, man.
Yo, what y'all think about LeBron's joints, man?
I You know what pair I like? I don't know. They're from
LeBron always made some decent shoes, though.
He got some decent looking ones. They used to be heavy.
Some of it went off the rails, but he did make some decent shoes, though.
His old sneakers were heavy though. Like the old ones he came out
with.
Yeah, they were like real high.
Them shits was heavy as shit.
Them shits were heavy as shit.
These are my favorite ones.
Every shoe company, every AAU team I had, they all wanted.
I like those. I like
these
those.
Are LeBrons.
I like those.
You know what they have? They have the Martins. They have the Martin. I want to get them. They're like 300. The Martin.
Yeah, I like wearing stuff like that. Like it's not too much. It's simple design.
These are LeBron. These are his older ones too. But these
I remember those. Yeah, I like those. There ain't too much going on. It's like a nice simple.
But I don't wear Nike because of my feet. I ain't gonna hold you. I can't wear like forums and all. I'm old. I'm in my 40s.
Oh no, I can't wear them shits.
I gotta wear Nikes. I can't be wearing like all these crazy niggas be wearing Hokies.
I ain't wore 40 pair of them shits since the curly beans.
For real, forums and shit. You can't put me on them shits no more.
I ain't wore 40 them shits.
I can't.
The low top Concords were my shit. The low top all white Concords, I used to rock those like Air Force One.
With them top 10, shout out the top 10s. Remember that? That was a bean shoe, though, Stoney.
Yo, with them long ass shoelaces, I didn't know what to do with them.
That was a Boston shoe. Like everybody, if you grew up in Boston, then you have top 10.
You wear those now, your ankle will snap in half. Wear those now. You don't even have to play sports. You walk to the job. You can walk to the corner store with those on. If you over 25, you 30, you can't wear those. Your ankle will snap in half, fam.
Ain't nothing like a fresh pair of top 10s, man.
Oh,
nice fresh
sure.
pair.
Yeah,
the white joints. The white joints.
The white original, the all white, blue and red. Those were
the all white, blue and red.
I thought you talking about the all white joint. I thought you said the all white,
all white, blue and red.
All white, blue and red.
All white joints was hitting too, though. The all white.
Oh, yeah, that's summertime. That's summertime.
Yeah, summertime joints. Low top joints.
Yeah, but the all white, blue and red. Damn, those
niggas be wearing them. Yo, remember niggas used to wear them in the winter with a Columbia jacket.
Winter time.
The raincoat Columbia jacket with a hoodie. Oh man,
yo, but that has to be the #1 Boston sneakers over forms. Y'all agree? The top 10?
Yeah.
Top 10. Number one, man.
Form had a run though, Beans. They had a run.
Yo, forms.
Beans, we used to go down. Yo, shout out to Beans with the first one with the green joints with the white sole. Them shit.
Yeah, the green. They only had 3 colors. It was green and white.
When G-Man came to school, yo, where Cornell get them green forms?
Yo, those shits were like $125 back then.
Yo, Beans was the first one in the curly with the green forms, though. Everybody wanted the green forms, though.
With the long strap, like
yeah.
We used to wear the straps hanging. Damn, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, green and white forms.
You didn't strap it up. You just said the strap was always on the side, man.
The strap's on the side. That's it.
Damn, that's
wow. It's crazy though, but I think New Balance they sponsor BC. It's great. BC's weird because I think their football team was Adidas and their basketball team was New Balance.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I think so.
Shit. I gotta look into that.
College and all that, everything now is a wild, wild west, man. Right now, it doesn't even matter no more. There's no rules to the game. You got guys where, like I said, people getting out of shoe contracts. You know what I mean? It's weird, but I don't know if you guys remember. It felt like everything was lifetime when we were growing up. Like, you know, when Iverson signed his deal, that was for life. Even though Kobe left, he had that beef. Remember, he went to Adidas, got the crazy years, and he came back to Nike and signed a lifetime deal. He couldn't go nowhere when he got it back. You know, Jordan lifetime, KD lifetime.
Real quick on Iverson, let me tell you, if it wasn't for Reebok, yo, Iverson would be.
Shout out to Paul Fireman.
Yo,
I know his moms. I used to do security in Brookline, and his mom was so nice to do Paul Fireman. His mom used to live in this old age home I was doing on Hammond Parkway. It's up in that area, Route 9, man. She was the nicest lady. I didn't know who she was.
Yeah, shout out to that.
Didn't Fireman give Iverson a deal where he makes $1 million a year for the rest of his life or something crazy?
Yeah,
They set up a trust for him. Reebok set up a trust that he can't
touch. That's fire, bro. That's fire, bro.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Fire.
Because you know what? He's on bad.
He couldn't touch it until he got older.
Yeah, he can't. He has to wait till he's like 60, I think, to touch
60. It. And all that money gonna be there.
All that money's gonna be there.
That's
they
dope,
hooked him up, man. Man. I hope he doesn't fall apart, man. Because AI, man, he was going hard, man.
Yeah. I think he slowed down a little bit. I think he slowed down a little bit.
Did y'all see that documentary? How all them Newport News athletes be ending up on that corner and shit? Yeah, man, that shit's real, man. Like, yo, these dudes, man.
Shout out to AI, man. I'm glad to see he doing all right.
Yeah, he slowed down.
He's doing all right. Yeah,
he slowed down.
Even though he's still dressing like he in 1995.
Yeah, this dude.
About.
With his tight braids and shit, he needs to get it even on all sides.
Dude still dressing like it's 95, man.
Big ass jeans on still. So what the fuck?
Big ass jeans. Fucking my man got cornrows.
Who wears the 3 times the size of your head fitted anymore?
Yo, he needs to give up on the cornrows, man.
You might wear the fitted a little bigger, Beans, but who wears the fitted with the do-rag underneath it still?
Right.
Yo, I remember I had my braids, right? I was dating this girl. She told me, she said, listen. She goes, you 33 years old. Cut those fucking braids. She didn't care how much I drank or how much I went out. She was just like, just please cut those fucking braids.
For real, no bullshit.
My man Reggie, God rest his soul. My man Reggie said I had the George Jefferson, but I kept braiding this shit. Stone, you know how that go, like. Stevie Wonder shit. They said Jerry Rice on Seattle. But I had a project. I had a chick from
Jerry Rice on Seattle.
The chick from Houston was catching it. She was catching my baby. And finally, Shorty said, "Listen, you time to go home, baby."
Yeah, you gotta come home, man.
One of the worst looks anybody with a George Jefferson can do is when they got the ponytail and no hair on the top.
Oh man.
Yeah,
you see that shit.
Get rid of that.
Anybody can do is just grow the George Jefferson out, period. Just let it go out.
Yeah, that's a disservice, man, to society.
You might just let it grow out, though.
Who's the
Don't put no ponytail. Just grow the George Jefferson.
The dude that does the Jordan furniture commercial.
Oh yeah.
That shit.
Yeah,
oh man, every time I see that dude, man.
That do a lot for charity though, so we can't.
I gotta be the number one
for charity. Huh?
Number one ball joint, the George Jefferson. I think.
Oh, the George Jefferson. But the father from Good Times is the real joint though.
Oh yeah, the father
from Good Times, the real joint.
The father from Good Times.
James Evans.
Yo, James Evans shit.
James Evans.
That shit off.
Yo, I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
James Evans, boy.
Yo, that James Evans.
His shit was kind of tight. He looked like he lined up the inside though. His shit.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying.
Like, what do you think? A razor blade?
That shit was lined up.
Like, how you do that? Like.
And then what's that joint beans they call it the roof?
This shit was shiny as fuck in the middle stack.
You call that joint, you call it the top down when you got the bald in the back and got hair everywhere else.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's the moon roof.
The moon roof.
I invest in Harry's, man.
Nah. That's your man. That's Al Horford, though. Al got that joint right.
You ain't gonna catch me lacking.
Oh no.
You ain't gonna catch me lacking. I got the Harry's Raider on deck.
Yo, who else got the moon roof? Yo, there's some ball players right now in the NBA got moon roof.
What's up with LeBron? Wasn't it LeBron ball? He all of a sudden he got hair on.
He went to Turkey, man.
That shit start off with hair, but in the first 3 minutes when that sweat catch it, it's over. Like that sweat catch.
Yo, I think LeBron.
His headpiece fell off, and Anthony Davis.
His headpiece fell off before. It fell off before. But I think after that, he went and checked. Jamie Foxx's man's out in fucking Turkey somewhere, and he got his shit done.
You know, you can get your teeth done out there. My man that worked with from there, he said you can get your teeth done.
Yo, that's where they going. They going to Turkey.
Like LeBron shit, it's still suspect though. If you see the back of it, it's still you can still see something going on there.
You gotta cut that. You gotta then be rocking.
You gotta cut it. Because some people here would take on that transplant, and some people shit won't take.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
It's
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
It's a 50-50.
I don't give a fuck. Black people, there's no, like Kevin Hart said, there's no nigga toupees. There's no.
That's a fact.
There's no hair for us right here. Right? There's just, when it's gone, it's gone.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what?
I'm
I'm lucky though because my head, Shorty said you got a decent head for it, so I guess I'm good.
Yo, I'm not.
You
Even
gotta
if
have
my head wasn't decent though, I ain't fighting with the comb. I ain't doing none of that wild shit with the hairline way back here.
No,
dog.
you're right.
No. The
Shout out
Stephen
to
A.
Harry's. Shout out to Harry's razor blades, man. Them were
Yeah,
nice.
shout out to Harry. I use the Harry's too. Yo, I can't do the Steve. I can't do the Stephen A. Stone. I can't.
Yo, how long you think? How long you think Stephen A. gonna hold on to that? So yo,
This
he's
shit look
holding
like
on.
a loaf of bread. Like what the fuck he doing?
Yo, didn't somebody get on him about that shit already?
Yo, he is. Yo, when he turns to the side.
No, but somebody.
That's when you really see how
Somebody
real
got
it is.
on Steven already.
You
Somebody
don't
gave
see how
Stephen
real.
A the business.
If you notice, he doesn't look to the side too much. Yo,
It's all
When
angles.
he turned to the side, that shit look like an escalator.
Nah,
Look at
he
it.
specifically tells the camera what angles to get.
No,
to hit.
that's what
You
I'm
know
talking
that.
about, Stoney. For him, it's straight angles. He don't want that side shot.
You can't see that side shot because that shit, man, that shit
Yo,
doesn't
that
look
shit
right.
bad, dog. I
Yeah,
don't
but his
know.
head, no,
Yo,
I
that's
ain't
when you
trying
see
to
how
judge
far
no man,
back
but his
this
head
shit
is
is.
kind of crazy. No matter what he does, he's head crazy.
Yo, he's holding
Oh yeah,
on.
if he shaves his head, he gonna look like
His
an
head
alien,
is
like a
crazy.
motherfucker.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I'd rather him
like
keep that.
He got like an egghead, man. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Nah, he gonna have that LL Cool J head, nigga. That's what he gonna have.
That's why L stay with a hat on.
That's why LO stay with a hat. LO
Stays
head
with
is,
a hat.
he
He
got
still
that
wears that.
muscle,
Yeah, he
weird
man.
shit.
He got like that moon head, like he.
LB having his hand. LB in the joint, the CSI joint. He be always in
Yeah, because he said
Yeah, but they make him. You could
he
clean up
gave
shit
up
on
on
TV
it.
in person though. His shit
on,
look like
on person, he still be like,
look like midgets are trying
he's
to get up
wearing
out of the
brim.
show, fam.
Yo, but he was balling like early, man. Like
no,
teenager years.
that was ball.
Yeah,
That was ball.
Park was too. Tupac
That was ball since the
Park-
beginning. Since the beginning of his rap career.
Park
was
was too.
ball.
You remember Park died at 24. He had the George Jefferson, if you remember.
Yo, Tupac could have grew hair. He could have grew hair. He had like little patches, but he could have grew hair though. He was able to grow hair. He just the patches. He didn't like that shit because he had that alopecia thing. They said he had that.
Okay.
So he had patches of baldness, but he wasn't bald.
Yeah,
Like,
some cats chose to go bald. Like, look, Jada.
Yeah.
got it now, right? Remember, Jada was always bald.
Yeah, Jada. I was surprised.
yeah, Jada was always bald. Look at him now with hair and shit.
I
But
think
his-
he only got a
Cam,
hair
Cam,
transplant.
Cam first came out, he was bald too.
Yeah,
Like, a lot of
right,
cats.
right.
Remember back in the day in New York, the bald.
yeah, Onyx.
No, that's
Yeah,
the
Barbie
thing.
was the
Caesar.
shit.
The Caesar.
The Caesar. Yeah, the Caesar.
The Caesar. That's a cut. Like one against the grain, line me up.
One against the grain. Word.
You know what I mean? One against the grain, line me up. That's it. New York, straight
Grain
style.
line me up. That was
You know
the
what I mean?
easiest shit you could do, right?
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean?
Grain line
The
me up.
Caesar, yo. When you hear that, hit me with the Caesar, you're gonna see the lineup come up and then one against the grain. That's it.
Yo, that made it easy for y'all barbers. Y'all was robbing us, charging us $40 for that shit.
They'll trim down the
Yo,
beard.
you didn't even have to blend it or nothing. Just one against the grain.
One against the grain and line it up. That's it.
And then, what was the big joints I used to use? Beans. Everybody that don't know, Beans is a barber, a professional barber. You don't cut no more.
Don't cut
Beans
no more.
was the
Retired.
barber.
You're gonna have them inboxing them for a lineup to you.
No, yeah, retired barber,
What
man.
was the joints, Beans? The big clippers used to clip the guard onto the joints.
Oh, the 111s.
Yeah, y'all. When y'all got them, it was over.
It was
you
over.
get the season in like 15 minutes.
Yeah. When I got them 111s and them 76s, the 76s was the smaller one to it. The 111s was a little bit chunkier. The 76s was the smaller one with the burgundy looking type of handle.
Yeah. Joint sound like a lawnmower when you
Yup.
turn it on. Yeah.
But the only thing I would say about a 76 is if y'all want to get a quick barbering little ones and twos, a little seminar. The thing about a 76er blade, the hair cut correctly even. No, as a barber, you would know a regular house clipper will leave like they don't cut your hair even. So that's why you gotta keep going back to it, keep cleaning it. But a 76s, once, and it's all even. yo, I'm trying to tell you that 76er and that 111. Yo, like you said, yo, let me get a Caesar real quick. Slap that blade on there.
Yeah, you go get fly get fly real quick with the Caesar, right? Yo, give me Caesar real quick.
Yep. Shot line up with the Caesar.
How you do it? Yo, I'm about to go see Short. Let me get the Caesar.
Exactly. Caesar real quick. Yo, for real. And then it went to the blowout fro.
The blowout throw with the tape.
With the
shout out to Big Ramel. Big Ramel was the first one.
Big Ramel was the first one. First one in Boston to introduce
Hold on, B. Correct it though. This is called the Philly fade. Remember, it was the Philly fade.
Yeah, the Philly fatback. They call it the Philly fatback fade. Yeah, you know what I mean? But the Philly fatback though, we did it a little bit different in Boston.
Yeah.
The Philly fatback was a temple fade, and then they do the nape, but then they used to leave this patch of hair in the back. That's why they call it the Philly fatback. So it used to be like a fat. Your hair's low here, and then back here starts to get thick, like a backwards fro.
Yo, I remember
Philly fatback.
I remember one day we was at your crib back in the day. We was after high school when then Ross came. I'll never forget this. Ross came to the crib. He was like, I'll never forget this. I thought it was funny. He was like, damn, I was in New York, man. They fucked up my shit. Beans, I need you to, he didn't call you Beans.
Remember that.
Like, yo, I need you to fix my shit.
I remember that.
We were young.
I remember that. Just by you saying, I remember that.
I was there.
You was there. I remember that. He came to my house for me to fix this.
They fucked up in New York. I need you to fix my shit. It was me, you,
Beans was the first one. Let me tell you something. Beans was a talented barber. I ain't blowing smoke because he's on the show. His brother's on the show. Come to cutting hair, that nigga Beans was skilled. He was skilled. Yeah. Beans will give you the fade, but it wouldn't be bald. It'd be a fade inside. You still have a line.
Yeah.
You also go to blend. It was the blend.
You called the blend.
It was the like that. Yo, how you get the fade inside? But you still got the line. It wasn't a ball fade, though, Stone. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was the whole thing about it. That was the whole thing about that cut, is that they was able to line it up, even though it was fade there.
With no ball fade. It was just a still.
I think barbers right now to the day would have a problem with that cut. I'm telling you.
No, that's true.
You don't see that cut like that.
You don't see that cut.
Yo, and another key was the taping the back. Taping instead of lining up the back.
The nape.
Yeah, exactly. That combo with the side, yo, that was the ultimate haircut. That was my favorite haircut of all time.
Beans used to give you the first one again with the round back, not the square, the round. The round back.
Yeah. And faded out. And faded right. And faded right.
Yo, and then between cuts, you get a lineup. That's what I used to do. I'll get the cut. And in between, I'll get a lineup, and then I was good money.
I used to go back to Job Corps. Yo, son, the New York cats. Yo, son, that shit. How you get that like that, son?
yeah, man, that shit.
Yo, barbering was our thing, man. I would never forget. I started cutting here in 1986.
Right. I started. Me and Mel. Shout out to Mel. Me and Mel was the test dummies.
Exactly. I talked about that the other day. I was telling Wifey. I was like. Telling Wifey the other, I was like, yeah, man, Terrence, my brother, Rock, Dino, all of those dudes, anybody on the block on Seaver Street, I didn't give a fuck. Y'all want cuts? Let's do it.
Yep.
And like you said, test dummies. It went from and you know what I mean? Remember in the beginnings, T? The beginnings was like, damn, dude, you fuck me up.
Niggas used to have to wear the hat, come out the crib. Hat.
Yeah, the beginnings was tough. The beginnings was tough. But shout out to Big Ramel.
Yeah, shout out to Big Ramel, man.
And
he was the best.
Big Ramel and Phil taught me. They taught me barbering without even having to.
Phil was talented. Phil was Big Ramel too, though. Big Ramel too.
Big Ramel was the best one.
He was the best one.
He was the number one guy. Number one guy, man.
You have to catch Big Ramel. You have to
listen. He was that good. He was on Lawson's. He was on that Lawson track. Put it that way. You know when people say I'm going to Lawson's.
Yeah.
He was there. It was Lawson's and then try to find Big Ramel.
Yep.
If you couldn't get into Lawson's, you was hitting people
back
up.
in the days, you couldn't get into
to find Big Ramel.
You couldn't get into the barbershop down my block either. Back in the days.
Oh,
Aaron
Oh,
used to give out tickets.
And shout out, don't forget Spencer.
By what's the
Hill.
name of it? Joe, it's been a long time. Huh?
Progressive.
Shout another one too.
Oh, Charmin.
Yeah, you couldn't get in there.
You wasn't getting in there. You wasn't getting in there.
You was not, bro. I knew dudes. Dudes were coming from Malden, Chelsea. The black dudes out there coming over there to get cuts, bro.
Yep.
I remember that spot.
Coming out there to get and still shout out to God rest. You know, shout out to all them. Mike Stoney's boy, my boy. I grew up with Mike Gregory. Used to cut that. Yo, Aaron used to give out tickets like those raffle tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Cause you couldn't get if you lost your ticket, you lost your spot in line, bro.
Yo, we all went there. Even Big Ramel as a barber went there to get cut. Like everybody went there, bro. Like that was your first introduction into like the real barber, and then from there you went into the Lawsons and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Lawson's probably was the bigger one because they
were bigger because they were like 4 or 5 of them, I believe.
It was a big time family. It was a big time family. I think
the main one was the one in the pan though. I think that was
the main one was Eggy. The main Lawson was
right there on the corner. You're right.
There on the corner when you had to stand up and wait.
You're right.
You had to stand up and wait. The main Lawson was
S Barbershop too. Shout out to S Barbershop too over there in Eggy. They used to do their thing over there.
Oh yeah, Eds. Yep. Around the corner. Yep. They came a little bit after Lawson.
Yeah, they did. They came after.
To the we should go get Pandora's, the little sub shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Go after school and go get the joint.
Yep.
Lawson's was right there. Yep.
Right there. Lawson Brothers, crowded all the time.
Yeah.
Saturday?
It was tough, man, because you had to get a haircut every week. That's how
it
was back then.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why it's good we knew Beans. Like,
but Beans and Little Ramel, man, they had the #1 spots because they was right there with Big Ramel. It was like, they was always fresh with the hair.
Every week. Yo, remember teachers would be like, damn, like how y'all pay a lot of money for haircuts because every week we had a fresh cut. Different design.
Dad had a nice haircut, man. I was hating on Dad, man. Damn, this got the tape up. I'm over here. This shit was fresh, man. I used to be like, damn, man. I was like,
no. Barbering was a thing for us, man. You know, barbering was a thing for us. I retired a long time ago from it, but yeah.
That shit, I remember that shit used to get us out of beef. Like, leave him alone, man. Nigga cut hair up the block,
Yeah. Barbers never got. No one ever messed with barber. No one ever messed with
barber. Like you said, from a teenager, dudes would be like, that's the barber. That's the dude.
That was like messing with a high school recruit. #1 basketball player. You wouldn't mess with the good barber.
Come on, man. In Madison Park, in my gym, in my locker room, and actually in my vocational class, which I was taking culinary arts. In my locker room, we had 2 locker rooms, a first one and then a sub one, like the one in the back. People didn't even know how Madison was sophisticated. They had showers and shit in like almost every locker room, but it was like towards the back, right? So I used to have ask G-Man, he'll tell you, all of them, everybody used to be lined up during lunch. And I could only do 2 to 3 cuts, and one of them might be a full cut and then 2 lineups. But lunch, dudes used to be in there like, hook me real quick, $5, line me up, clean me up, shave me up. And I used to be my actual instructor. He used to be on like, damn, he from Texas. He's like, Chris, man, you in that bullshit, boy. You know what I mean? He was like, well, this ain't no barbershop. Take that shit downstairs. And I used to be like, come on, Mr. B, man, I gotta make money. He'd be like, all right, this one time. And he used to do that for me every time. It's to say, this one time. But every time, go ahead, he back there. He used to look out for me. Like, he used to look, Mr. Bosley, I would never forget him, dog. He made me make my money in school because it was legit. It wasn't, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So he was like, go ahead, young blood, do your thing, man. Go in that damn locker room and cut that hair. You know what I mean? But yeah, cutting hair was a thing, man. That was one of my passions, you know? It was one of my passions. It was great to chop it up with y'all guys about that shit. I remember. I be forgetting about that. I used to cut hair. No bullshit. I be forgetting I used to be a barber,
Like, you gotta check me up a few times, man.
You know, so but yeah, man, it was nice. Yo, real quick before we jump off, man, how's our Celtics? I know we went off on another tangent, but the Celtics,
we on fire.
We on fire.
Man. Yeah, we ready to go. We ready to go. Man.
We're gonna have to do me and Sass. I'll talk. We live. It is what it is. We have to do a nice. I'm not worrying about the playing. After the playing, we gotta do a nice long preview show for the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Even if it's a Thursday, I'll make it. Even if I gotta take the day off or however it works.
Definitely, we got to do a real nice show.
I don't care about the playing. We got for me. Just wait till the playing's off. I don't care about that. Wait till the playing's over, and then we have all the seeds.
Yep.
Do a nice little meaty show. We could do prop bets.
Yeah, man. We gotta come. We gotta get Shannon in here.
I already put that bug in his ear, Beans.
Yeah, get Shannon in here. Get a couple of heads. Doe, you could get homeboy in here.
Up here. I've been reaching out. He, shot Nolan Richardson passed last week, I believe it was. So I hope he might be going through something, but I'll reach out to him though.
Yeah. And shout out to Mike too. Get Mike from MSD Sports back up.
Yeah. No doubt.
You know what I mean? Like, let's do a good show for the playoffs.
We want a nice preview for that.
Before we go, I got a bet for tomorrow night. We gotta get.
Oh, you got a bet for tomorrow night. So hold on 1 second. If you got a bet for tomorrow night, let's do it. Yeah, man. Once again, it's Stoney Sportsbook, man. Don't forget, we still there. We still doing it. What you got, Stoney, on that bet for tomorrow night's championship game?
Man, it's gonna be real simple. It's the last game. I've been running with this format for a while, and I'm not gonna hop off it because around this time, these players are playing tight. They playing methodical. They running the clock a lot. They're using the whole shot clock. So I'm taking the under in this game. Under 141. There's no other way I could look at this game tomorrow. I mean, I like Florida. Don't get me wrong, but I just can't go to the window with that because it's such a toss-up, and I don't like betting on toss-ups because that's like just hoping that I win. I like to have a little advantage, and I feel like the little advantage I have is with the total. I think both of these teams are gonna fill each other out. I would even be tempted to bet the first half under, but I don't want to gamble like that because things happen in the first half. I feel like the whole game would be a safer play because the second half could slow down compared to the first half. So, I want to play it safe.
So they're gonna fill each other out,
right? So I'm gonna play it safe and I'm just gonna go with the whole game under 141. Tomorrow night, and I like Florida to win.
So since you did that, I'll give an alternative. I mean, I feel I'm definitely going to under, so you don't have to take what I pick. But I actually just put the bet in just now. I got got Houston with the upset. Not really upset because it's basically a pick 'em. In the under, I got 140 on FanDuel. I'm on FanDuel. So 100 will pay out 246.49. So if you take Houston with the money line and the under at 140, I got it at 140. I just put 100 to win 246.49. So that's my bet.
That's a great bet because it's a correlation type bet, man.
Yeah,
Houston's gonna win. With that. I like that. I'm thinking of playing that too. Definitely. I would definitely
246 will give you 100 will give you 246.49.
I approve that wager. Definitely, I approve that.
I'm definitely taking the under too. Definitely taking the under with that game.
Yeah, I definitely take the under on that.
And another one. One more. Let me get. I got another one that's a correlation with that too. The team total under. The team total under for Houston.
70, right?
70.
No, 60.
I got 70.5 here with
70. Yeah, I got 70.
Yeah, so I would go that route as well. I would take the team total under 70.5.
Yeah, I wish I picked it 67. I know it's in the past, man. I was kicking myself. I get greedy sometimes. I picked Duke exact 67, and it was like a plus 1,000 and whatever it was, man. I'm like, damn. But I added this and that. I told Stacks I added this, added that, added three-way money line second half and blew it. But
yeah, that was a long plane ride home for them, boy. Woo.
But yeah, that's the bet. That's the bet.
Yeah, I like that. I like that, man. You know, at this point of the tournament, man, these teams are gonna really take their time.
Yeah, they're gonna be fighting.
The pace of play is gonna, and these teams, that's how they play. And Houston love playing like that. They love playing. You know,
if they can keep Duke at 67, I'm sure they could keep Florida at least 70.
Yeah, Florida. Florida didn't hit 70 yesterday.
No, they didn't. I had them at 70.
Yeah, they team total was 80.
Yeah, I had them at 80. I took it. And they had 71, I think, right? Or 72, something like that.
Yeah, they had about that. And in Vegas, they agree now because they got them at 70 right now.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on a second. Yeah. So Florida. Yeah, they only scored. Look at that. Florida scored 79, man. Yeah, it was tight, man. But that was free throw shooting down the stretch.
Yeah, well, my bet. I told you,
Stoney did once again. Stoney, if Duke hit those free throws, they win that game.
Those free throws. Man, that's college basketball for you, man. Let me tell you, man. That's look. I could go back to me the most.
Free throws is always a thing in college basketball to me.
The most clutch free throw situation that I've seen in my life in college basketball tournament was when Seton Hall beat Michigan.
Yeah.
Back in the days when that dude made those 2 free throws with no time left to win the championship.
That's pressure. Hey,
oh my goodness, man. I watched that shit.
Your man for Houston, those were 2 big free throws he hit, though. I tell you that.
Yes.
He stepped up and he was only shooting like 59%.
Yeah, he looked like he was throwing him at that shit, though. I was nervous for him.
He stepped up and made 2 big free throws, though.
Big free throws. Big, and he knocked them down with no
sure
problems, man. Like,
yo, shout out to these college programs. These kids putting in hard work. Shout out to Houston. I'm sure people didn't expect them. Maybe they expect them to be in the 4, but not to end up in the championship. So shout out to Houston for that. Florida's riding that wave. Let's see what Houston brings to the table come tomorrow. So you know, I that's a tough one. I had Houston in my Final Four. So you know, to say, but you know, ultimately, I'm sure everybody said Duke, you know, but if Houston playing the way that Moxie and that grit that Stacks is talking about, Florida got a big game ahead of them tomorrow night.
I'm telling you, dog, they got their hands full.
Momentum is the motherfucker.
That's pretty much a home game, Stoney, too. You know,
right?
The momentum.
And momentum is some shit.
That crowd gonna be crazy.
This game, it's gonna be. It might be a buzzer beater, man. I might go to the window with that. It might be a buzzer beater.
I might even pick the exact score for cheap money. I might even pick 69-67 exact score. And that will still cover my other.
You guys are giving out some good cues, some good picks, some good options. I'm sure people are.
And you can do that either or on FanDuel. I'm noticing I'm on FanDuel now. I ain't messing with DraftKings. They taking away all the props.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. And another thing to all you viewers that you know into the sports betting. Yeah, it's always good to have a couple of different accounts from FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM because they all offer different.
Yeah, FanDuel. I didn't realize how many props FanDuel. Oh my lord!
FanDuel props.
That's why you crazy. That's why you shop around. That's why you got to have different.
I love FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on FanDuel. I'm gonna be on FanDuel.
DraftKings took away a lot of my soccer props. I was on the phone with them. He was like, "Oh, we don't offer that in the market." I'm like, "Okay." I didn't say I'm gonna leave. I said, "Okay."
Right.
And so over to FanDuel, they have all that plus something.
Yeah, FanDuel, man, that prop shit is crazy.
Some money as we spoke on the Red Sox tonight. They're on fire. I'm getting money with them.
Yeah, left and right. Red Sox, man. I actually watched the game.
So hold on.
Yeah.
You're saying the Red Sox is fire. Let me before we end this live. What didn't the Red Sox lose like 3-4 straight?
Nah, they were just honestly they should have won 2 of those games to be fair.
Yeah, they filling it out.
I wasn't worried about that.
Something though.
They should have won 2 of those games. But now their lineup, they probably to me it's early, but they got their offense is up there with like the Dodgers and Philly. Their team is deep. And they got people in the pipeline. That offense is ridiculous.
What about the pitching? What about the pitching?
Yeah, they got an ace in Crochet.
They're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. The only thing I worry about is health of the pitching, because Crochet, he's a great talent, but he's never went past 125 innings, I think, or 114. Cutter Crawford, Bello, Giolito's and coming up. They're coming back, but Giolito's had Tommy John, so he's going to be coming back.
That's not the most perfect name for a fucking pitcher, Cutter Crawford.
Right?
Yo, that's the ill name.
They had a rookie. They just got, honestly,
that's the ill name.
We could do a whole show on this later on, but now they fired, actually stocked up this farm system. He didn't do good for major league talent and getting all that. But the guy they were gonna trade right now is the best hitter in baseball. It's not even close. The dude Abreu, he's the best hitter in baseball right now. They traded him for Vasquez. So they got the number one prospect in baseball is supposed to be in his position. You know what I mean? So man, they signed a kid that looks like a young Mookie Betts, the kid Campbell. I mean, I know it's early.
Redhead.
This dude look like he right now he got the second fastest swing in the major league. He's only 22 years old. So it's early though. So let me not.
I'm glad you're watching and paying attention. Though I know baseball is one of your things.
Man, I just won a hell of a lot of money tonight. That's why I could bet on this game tomorrow. That's why I love gambling. I won when you know the sport. I won crazy money today on baseball. I could put 100 on that game tomorrow and feel okay. 200.
Right. Nice. So guys, man, it was a nice show. I know we started with some technical difficulties. You know, we had some late starts and stuff. We will be back again. I think hopefully Thursday, man. I should be able to do a Thursday. I'm back in New York over the weekend again, this weekend coming up. But I should be able to do a Thursday night show. I think if we could pop in and do a Thursday night show, that'll be perfect. You know, get back on the horse with this on this thing, man. You know, I know we all got these, wild schedules and that's how life is. But, I love when we get together and put this podcast together. It's a team effort and it's smooth. You got something to say, though?
No, I'm good, man. Love you.
Stacks, man, I'll see you, man. Cook, I'll see you.
Sure.
We'll catch up during the week. We'll, obviously we'll stay together in the chat. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Yo, once again, people, before we go, please hit that like, subscribe button. Yo, every now again I look. I know it's not major like anybody else, but we're creeping up. Every now and then I see one or two people subscribing and shit like that in the YouTube side. Our Facebook viewership is way much better, just so people like when I check our Facebook viewership, you're talking about sometimes we got 400 or 500 in a show on a Facebook viewership. So I kind of I think people are going into Facebook and jumping in on our lives just to take a look to see especially when the titles are hitting like this. So I'll see you guys again. Thanks everybody. Hit that like, subscribe, and share it. I'll see you guys. Peace.
To make moves, doobie don't snooze, it's on your back, cause they hate you, dog break through, son get through, but I'm